Hola, lovelies! It's October 11th, which is National Coming Out Day, so I'm going to share my story on all the fun that is coming out and coming to terms with your sexuality. But before I do that, a little pause here, guys. Strangers with Candy! If you don't know what this TV show is, you have seriously lost shit in your life, dude. This show is like the most amazing show in the world. This show has changed my life. This show is like my sense of humor 100%. I have watched it for decades and still find it really, really fucking funny. Anyway, okay, so coming out. Looking back, I knew I was different forever. I remember being 12. Like, I literally remember being 12 and thinking to myself, oh my god, I really have to find a boyfriend because everybody's gonna think I'm gay. It's usually not the normal conversation that 12-year-olds have. I remember having a crush on my best friend, but not realizing it was a crush. But I made out with boys. I hooked up with guys and all that stuff. I did what I was supposed to do, but I never cared. It was never a serious thing. Like, I would find guys and I would like talk to them and I would quote unquote like sort of date them. But like, I would usually like go on like a date or two and like freak out and just like push them away, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. All I knew was I didn't want to be gay. Like, I knew that's all I knew because the only person that I knew in my life that was gay was my aunt, rest her soul. But she wasn't really a good representation of a person in general. She was a user and had drug problems and just all this happy nonsense. Anyway, so around the age of like 20, 21, I came to terms with the fact I called myself bisexual at that point because I was really confused. I had no idea. But it was just like, I know I like girls, so I'm gonna come to terms with the fact that I like girls. And that's about the time I had my first girlfriend, and she was like my friend. And then it was funny because like she was my friend, and we never really talked about it. But like we went from like being friends to like being really close to like giving each other massages, and then let me tell you my awkward story of my first fucking girl on girl kiss. We were sitting in my dark room listening to music, cuddling and being all non straight, and I had my labret pierced. I had it right here pierced at that time. That was actually the only piercing I had. And she asked if she could bite my lip ring, which is usually not something you ask people. So, of course, I said yes. She bit my lip ring, and I kissed her, because that seemed like the next logical step. I kissed her, and she sort of, like, backed away, and, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home now, and left. So I was like, oh shit, what the fuck, I just fucked up. Like, I just messed up the whole thing. I read the signals wrong, blah, blah, like, freaking the fuck out, even though there's no way I read that signal wrong. Like, you wanted to bite something on my face. Obviously, like, that's really... So, of course, I'm, like, freaking out, and I'm like, I just ruined a friendship. Oh my god, I'm a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. And the next day she comes over, and we talk about it, and we end up dating for, like, a year. So, obviously, she just freaked out. Anyway, so that was, like, my first girlfriend, and then we broke up, and then at that time I was like still sort of calling myself bisexual, but possibly lesbian, I don't really know. And then I went through like phases. I dated girls and I dated guys, and I dated girls and I dated guys and I dated whatever, but it was always like more serious with females and more like fun with boys. Like guys were always like, I mean, I love, strong cologne and like a good cuddle with a guy and stuff like that, but it was always like more intense serious relationships with females. So I was like, well, maybe I'm a lesbian then. And, years later, I've dated girls and all that kind of stuff. And, I've had, my fun with boys, but it was never like a relationship. It was always just sort of like, I'm lonely and you're cute. You know what I mean? Like, it was fun. And then I met Shannon and fell head over well, at first, I was like, nothing's gonna happen between us. Like, she's not my type and it's just nothing's gonna happen. And it fucking punched me in the face. Like, I fell head over heels in love with this girl. And, a few years later, we get married and all that fun stuff. And then I realized, once I was in, like, a serious relationship with a female, that I was finding myself more and more attractive to males. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, I thought I figured this out already. Like, I thought this was settled. Like, I thought this was figured out. And obviously, I don't think sexuality, like, in my personal experience, is something that I'm ever going to figure out completely. I think I personally like a little bit of everything. Like, I like guys, I like girls, I like transgenders, I like everything. Like, I would date any of those, people. Like, I would date any gender. You know what I mean? Like, I would. But I could see myself having a more of a serious relationship with either, like, a female or, like, a female to male kind of thing because of the female brain. But that's just me. I really don't know. I mean, if I met, if I was single and met somebody who had a amazing personality, I could see myself dating that person regardless of their gender, because I like both gender. Well, I like all the genders. So, I mean, that's sort of like my small little story. But I'm going to tell you my actual story of coming out to my mother because it's funny. So I was dating Jen, the girl that asked to kiss my lip, to bite my lip ring. I was dating Jen for about a year. First love, all that bullshit. We broke up, fucking broke my heart, because that's what happens when you're young and that's like your first love. So, broke my heart, and I was really, really depressed. And Jen used to come over like every night pretty much and slept at my house. Like, because that's what normal, 20-year-olds do. We all have sleepovers. So anyway, so she stayed at my house a lot and obviously stopped staying at my house because we weren't together anymore. And I was still living with my mom because I was young still, and I was still living with my mom, and like we were having dinner, and she kept pestering me. She kept like, I mean, all the time, like for like a week before this. She kept being like, "Where's Jen? Where's Jen? Where's Jen? Where's Jen?" And I kept just being like, "Oh, we got in a fight. We got in a fight. We got in a fight." Well, one day I'm like really depressed, and I'm eating dinner, and she's like pestering me. She's like, "Well, where's Jen? What happened? Why'd you guys get in a fight? What happened? What happened? What happened?" And I love my mom, but that's just how moms are. And I finally was like, "You really want to know? You really want to know what happened?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Jen was my girlfriend and we broke up." And she's like, "So you're telling me you're gay?" And I was like, "I don't know." Because at that time, like, I don't know. I still don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that, like, I'm never going to have. Like, I feel jealous for those people that are 100% like, I know my sexuality. Like, my little brother, like, knows he is gay. There's no leaning towards anything else. He is gay. I wish I was that lucky. Where I 100% knew my sexuality. I wish I was born with a fucking little, like, book, like, by the way, this is your sexuality and this is how you're supposed to handle it. But life is not like that. So that's how I told my mother, and she was weird a little bit about it, and she told me that she went to work the next day and cried, which of course makes anybody feel amazing. Of course, she said she still loves me because she's my mom, and my mom is amazing, and will always be amazing and always support me in everything. But she did say things like, I don't want to see you kissing or anything like that. Like, she used to be a lot more standoffish, and the more I had girlfriends stay over and all that kind of stuff, the less, weird she got about it. And then she met Shannon, and the same thing. She's like, well, I don't want her staying over, and I don't want this. And when I met Shannon, I was basically, just to set the ground a little bit, I moved back from Pennsylvania, and I was staying with my mom temporarily while I was getting a job and getting back on my feet. So I was staying with my mom again, and I met Shannon, and Shannon was staying over and all that kind of stuff. And at first she was like, I don't really want you to stay over. And I was sort of just like, well, you can't, sorry. And then she ended up like falling in love with Shannon, and like it was cute. Like, we get up in the morning and she would like make Shannon coffee and all this kind of stuff, and like got over her whole like, I don't want to see you guys kissing or whatever. And now, I mean, we go over there every other weekend, and Shannon's family, so it's wonderful. I'm lucky to have a very, very supportive mother, and I don't have to worry about, my family hating me because of it. I don't know how my sisters feel about it. It is what it is. I hope they accept it, but if they don't accept it, that's on them, not me. I spent way too much in my life being depressed and miserable about who I was, and I refuse to do that anymore. So I am Debbie, and I am a spectrum of sexualities. I call myself a lesbian because it's just easier, because I'm married to a female and I don't see the relationship ending anytime soon. So it's easier to call myself a lesbian, but if I'm going to be truth about it, I like all genders. Like, I like men, I like women, I like, transgendered people, I like everybody. So I guess, whatever. I mean, it's supposed to be, apparently I'm pansexual, but I don't know. I'm Debbie, and I like people. But with that being said, coming out is awesome, because once you come out, you can finally be true to yourself. And being true to yourself is an amazing feeling, and being able to be open and honest. Because even when I first came out to like my mom and stuff, it took a good like 5-6 years before I was comfortable telling people. And now everyone knows. And I'm not ashamed of it, and I don't care what you think. If you don't like me for it, y'all can fucking fuck off, because it doesn't change who I am whatsoever. If you're not going to support me, y'all can suck it. All right, guys. Let me get back to work or whatever. All right. Love yas. Bye.